Guys, I'm going to show you how to wrap your hands properly for boxing. For this video, we're going to use the 2.5 meter wrap, which is a smaller wrap out of the two, okay? So I'm going to show you two ways with this wrap. So the first way is in this video, okay? So the first thing you want to do is get the little hook part of the wrap and just put it over the top of your hand like that. So you're going to put your thumb inside it and get it over the top like that. Then you're going to wrap your wrist 2 times. So over and 2, okay? Everything you do, you're going to come to the bottom of your thumb, and that's where you're going to start the next move. So from there, you're just going to wrap it once around your thumb, so over the thumb, and back around to the bottom of the thumb. Then you're going to do an X. You're going to go across the top of your hand, over to the little finger, around the back of your hand, the palm, and then come around the top again to complete the X, yeah? And then you're going to go back to the bottom of the thumb again. Next one, you're going to come up to the knuckles. We're going to wrap the knuckles twice. So you're going to go to the little finger. You're going to wrap around the knuckles once and twice. Okay, and then you get to the index finger here. And all you're going to do is you're going to drop it back down to the wrist and finish off the wrap nice and tight around the wrist. When you're doing it, just before you tighten it, just make a fist to make sure it feels comfortable. If it's too tight, you can unloosen it and re-wrap it, okay? So we're just going to finish off with 2 or 3 wraps around the wrist, and that's a nice wrap there. Make sure the main thing when wrapping your hands is where you want to protect is the wrist area and the top, the small bones in your hands at the top, okay? So that's where you're kind of nice tight coverage on each wrap, all right? So that's the first wrap. Check out the next video, which will give a bit more coverage to the knuckles using the same wrap. Okay guys, this is the second video using the same 2.5 meter wrap. I'm going to show you how to get a bit more coverage on your knuckles with it. It's a short enough wrap, so you can't really get too much. You're going to get about 2 or 3 times the regular coverage of it, alright? So all you're going to do is we're going to fold the wrap down so you can see that the little hook is like this, and you're going to fold it down, and then you're going to fold it over the top again. So you basically have a little padding there with the top of the wrap, okay? From there, you're going to hold the padding part in place with your thumb, and you're going to wrap it around by your little finger and around under your thumb again, just to hold that in place. Okay, so you've got a good bit, 3 parts of the wrap on top here on the knuckles, a bit more cushion there. From there, you're going to drop it down here around the bottom of the thumb, and then over the top of the thumb. So you got to make sure, don't have it too tight at this stage, just keep it nice and loose here, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to secure the knuckle part in place. So from under the thumb, you're going to come up and you're going to go through all the fingers. So starting with the small finger and the ring finger, and then through the middle, and then through these fingers here, and then around. So we're going to start off first going through the baby finger and the ring finger, and then you come back around the back of the palm, over the top of the hand, and then through the middle 2 fingers, all right? So each time you do that, you're also protecting the top of the hand as well, because you're wrapping it in an X motion, yeah? So you're going to come back around, and then the final one is going to go through these 2 fingers here, middle and the index, and then you're going to just come back down and finish the wrap off down by the wrist again, okay? So this one is a good wrap if you're hitting maybe a heavy bag, because you're going to protect the knuckles a bit better. It also has good protection on the top of the hand, and also has slimmer, good protection around the wrist. So just make sure it's nice and tight there. So that's another option then you can do, which is one that I prefer to use, because I've got, also it keeps the wrap in place because it's wrapping in through your fingers. So with the other wrap, the first wrap, sometimes it can slide down because there's no lock on the fingers there, but this is a good lock on the fingers, all right? So that's the second wrap using the 2.5 meter wrap, okay? So I'm going to just show you one more wrap, which is basically the same as this, using the 3.5 meter wrap, so you have a bit more basically knuckle coverage, and also you can bring it down a bit more onto the wrist, all right? Thanks. Okay, the third and final way to wrap your hands is going to be using a longer wrap. It's a 3.5 meter wrap, so you got an extra meter of coverage, which means you can put a bit more coverage on the knuckle. So like the last video where we did the knuckle padding, we're actually going to do the same thing. We're going to get the little hook part of the wrap, and we're going to wrap it down. This time we're going to do it 5 times, so you're going to get much more coverage. Because we've got a longer wrap, we can afford to make a bit more coverage at the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So fold it over 5 times. Just make sure it's nice and flat. Flatten it out, okay? So now you've got your wrap like that. And if you want to just wrap it like this all the time, what you can do is you can actually just sew the wrap so it's always like that. So make sure you get it covering your own hand to the same distance of your hand, okay? If not, you can just wrap it every time. So anyway, we're going to do it like this. We've got wrapped it 5 times. You can see there's loads of padding on my knuckles now. And we're basically going to do the exact same wrap as the last time, but now we have a little bit extra coverage. So we're going to wrap it around here. We're just going to hold it in place before we pull it around. So we come around and we wrap it over the thumb. Like that. And then we're going to go through the little fingers each time. The fingers as the last wrap. So in through the small finger. Always go around and back under the wrist so it secures it. And then we're going to go through the middle finger. Around. And then we're going to go through the other fingers. And around. And then we've got about 2 or 3 feet of wrap left. So what you can do there is you can go a bit more coverage down on the wrist now. So you've got a bit more protection here. So again, this is a good one for the heavy bag or sparring or pad work, anything really, because you've got full protection of the hands. If you've got a little bit extra, you can whip it around and do an extra X over the top of the wrist like that. And then we're going to just finish it off nice and tight down by the wrist and lock it in place with the Velcro. Okay, so that's a great wrap because you've got really good protection right down the wrist. If you want to actually, if you have any wrist issues, if you want to make it a bit lower down the wrist, you can. You can bring it right down because you have a bit extra space on this long wrap. So there's a good protection on the wrist, loads of protection on the top of the hand, and also you've got massive loads of cushion here on the knuckles, so when you do punch, it's got a bit more padding there so it doesn't hurt the hand so much. Also, the advantage of this is you've got lots of space behind here because you're not wrapping across the back of the hand, which means you can make a tighter fist because you can bring your hands right down onto the skin of the hands rather than having a big bunch of wrapping in the way. So you can pull that down and you can get your hands nice and tight into a fist. All right.